Soul to Soul Wellness. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 2024, the do's and don'ts, what I've learned from this year from not posting, and how you and I can do better. I wanted to start off by first clearing the air and saying 2023 was my best and also worst year. Best in like all the things that I did in my personal life and just overall achievements that I've been able to accomplish within a year's time, but worst in terms of like content, creating, meeting those goals of posting more and creating more content. And where I'm at right now is kind of like, let's not be so hard on ourselves. Like, we did a lot of amazing freaking things in real life, IRL. So don't like beat yourself up that you didn't achieve your online goals. This year, I'll definitely have a different approach than I did last year. I think last year I was more focused on just trying to reach a number, trying to get as many people and as many eyes on my video and things like that. And that mindset obviously didn't help me achieve that goal. So we gotta rewire, we gotta reprogram and figure out what is the right mindset for 2024. And that's what this video is gonna be about. Like probably many others, because as you guys all know, the statistic stands that about 97% of people immediately go off track on their New Year's goals, New Year's resolutions within the first 3 weeks of starting. So we do not want to be those people. I was really reflecting and thinking, why does this even happen? Like, why is it so hard for people to follow through, myself included, especially on goals related to like a project? And some of the reasons I'll list here are really due to just like feeling like you don't have what you need to accomplish that goal. The feeling of failure or it not meeting your expectation, especially someone like me who's a perfectionist. And I've decided you gotta let some of that stuff go. You gotta let it go, because that's probably the thing that's holding you back. It's not that your content's not good. It's not that you don't have something to say. It's not that you don't have a big following. You're probably not taking the proper steps and actionable goals to really help you track that goal and remind yourself that like you aren't a failure and that this project or whatever you're working on is worth it. No matter the stress, time, hours, money spent, worth it. I think the hardest part for me too with this last year, 2023, of being able to track those goals that I had with like social media and creating content is that I didn't really set up a strong enough schedule. And I mean, part of that could have also been that I was a full-time student at Georgetown doing my master's and then also trying to get a job and now working a job and just all those transitionary things, which is why, again, I'm not being too hard on myself. But for 2024, I like really need to hit the ground running, which is why today I have my pen and I have my notebook and we are gonna get to it right now. And we're back. I've been thinking, what are some ways that you can take action for 2024? I came up with a list of some things that we can do to kind of get us started for 2024. So the first thing that I took away from one of the videos I watched, and I can post a screenshot here, and one of the things he talked about was the Wheel of Life, which I had actually never heard before, but I liked how it kind of compartmentalized our lives in a way that we can visualize and also prioritize. So the first thing you do is you draw a circle, much like this, and then you break it up into 3 sections, which I loved. And the sections are health, relationships, and career. So you have these 3 different sections that look like a peace sign. And then within those 3 sections, you break it up into 3 more sections. I'm gonna try to do this as neat as possible for my visual learners. So then you have 9 circles, yeah? Okay, so within the health section, you're gonna put mind, body, and soul. Your mindset, obviously your physical health, and your spiritual health. So like whatever your belief system is, your practices, your religion, yada yada. And then in the relationships, you're gonna put romance, you're gonna put family and friends, of course, because something that we don't always prioritize is our relationships, which, fun fact, majority of older people who have been surveyed on what makes them happy or what was the thing that brought them the most joy in their life have said their relationships. So this bucket right here is actually probably one of the most important. And so maybe spend some time thinking about that. And then lastly, career, we have money, mission, so what's your purpose, and then growth. What are ways that you'd like to grow? So then you come up with this. So what he mentioned in the video to do was to rate them on a scale of 0 to 9 as to where you're at. So that way you can track where you want to be. But to be honest, I would just add an extra layer to that and just say, so you can score yourself 0 to 9, but then you also want to add a number to where you want that section to be. So I'll show you really quick. All right, so like, let's say these are your numbers. Once you have the numbers of where you're at currently, outside of the circle, you're gonna put the number that you want to achieve in that box. Now, obviously, ideally, we would all like to achieve a 9, which is the highest number. But be realistic with yourself, right? Like, what can you really accomplish within a year's time? And also, this is a good way to kind of, again, visualize what are the main categories that you really want to focus on in terms of creating your goals for next year. So again, I'll just give you an example. So like, let's say you have a 3, you obviously want to aim for a 4 or 5 or higher. And that could literally just be one step up, you know what I mean? So again, this is another example visually, how it looks. You're gonna have the numbers outside of the circle that you want to achieve. And then once you've created that visual, the action item that you're gonna do is you're gonna get a clear sense of where you are now and where you wanna be, and what are your priority lists. On a scale of 1 to 9, because you have 9 slices, right? You're going to then put highest priority, so 1 is obviously highest priority and 9 is lowest priority. And then from there, right, once you have your priority list 1 through 9, you're then going to write down the goals that you want for those individual slices, those individual categories. Now again, this is not to say that you're going to do every single one of those categories. It just means, again, it's just a way for you to visualize what you want to achieve in the next year. And then once you do that, I highly recommend taking a minute, maybe getting your environment nice, setting a candle, setting an intention, maybe putting on some frequency music, or just music that you like, whatever it is, lo-fi. And then go through each priority category and visualize in your mind what that looks like, how you imagine that's gonna play out. Now, I will say, this does take a bit of mental energy. So you want to maybe allot 30 minutes for this exercise. Find 30 minutes. This will be worth your while, I promise you. Once you're done visualizing your different categories, then you'll create your vision board. And like I mentioned, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos for 2024. And obviously, I'm sure you've seen the videos. It's a lot of the same thing: create a vision board, write it down, goals, yada, yada, yada. But if you follow these steps, I promise you, you will achieve 3 out of those 9. You will have a third of your pie will be full, will be completed, for sure. How am I so sure of this? How am I so sure of this, Solange? Are you a mind reader or a tarot reader? I am a tarot reader. How am I so sure of this? Because when you write things down, it is proven. When you put things into writing, not just memorize it in your brain, write it with a pen to paper, you are 9 times more likely to achieve that thing that you've written down, or to even remember it. And then on top of that, when you visualize the thing that you want, you are more likely to achieve that thing, because now you're putting the energy, the mental energy, into making that goal, making that desire come into fruition. That's one thing, one kind of exercise that you can do to plan for 2024.